kid. This book, this Little Environmentalist, is brought to you by me, Fuchsia Fish, representing the citizens of Earth from the Ocean Pod. And it's also brought to you by me, Green Bear, representing the color green, because eco-friendly means green.
And also brought to you by me, Storyteller, human being who also lives on Earth. So, are you ready to find out all about this Little Environmentalist? Because it's all about loving the Earth, because it's where we live. Protecting our planet, making air and water clean, because no one, and I mean no one, likes to drink unclean water. Saving insects, land, and animals, keeping forests green. Little Environmentalists help our great big Earth. This Little Environmentalist helped his workers earn cash by keeping clothes and furniture from going into the trash. Edgar J. Helms' company, Goodwill. Hey, I've shopped at Goodwill, have you? This guy made it. Edward J. Helms hired people to fix old, broken things for others to buy and reuse. The original recycler. This gave poor people jobs and cut down on the trash. Total win-win. And in case you were wondering, this fellow right here is from Boston. He was a reverend. Moving on. This Little Environmentalist wanted us to understand that we should protect our wilderness land. Aldo Leopold thought people and nature should get along like two friends. That makes sense. He helped preserve New Mexico's Gila Wilderness, the first land ever chosen to remain wild forever under the protection of the U.S. Forest Service. I mean, if you think about it, having a place of pure wilderness, that's fabulous. I mean, after all, you don't want a house everywhere. Sometimes you need to just get away. Ooh, yes, Hootie, get away. Ooh, yep, just like that guy right there. Ooh, I know, it's cute. You found your relative there. This Little Environmentalist began an investigation of chemical bug sprays being used in our nation. Rachel Carson noticed that bees bzzz, and birds chirp, 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 were getting sick. She wrote a book called Silent Spring that led to new rules against chemicals that harm our Earth. And that book, Silent Spring, wow, that had a worldwide impact with people changing so many of the things that they were used to doing that harmed the Earth. This Little Environmentalist does deep sea diving to study our oceans and keep sea creatures thriving. Sylvia Earle helped design a submersible to go deep underwater. How deep? 3,000 feet deep. That's pretty deep. To learn how we can keep sea animals and plants healthy. You know, oceans cover more of our Earth than land. And she was actually one of the first explorers to use scuba gear to examine marine life.
And of course, we all know around here, because of me, that the oceans cover more of our Earth than actual land. That's how I get around so much and have so many friends.
I always wondered about that, but that makes perfect sense. This Little Environmentalist had a big heart. She led others to plant trees, which was very, very smart. Wangari Maathai got African women to plant millions of trees in Kenya. That's where she was from, Kenya, to provide fruit, shade from the sun, wood for building, and firewood for cooking. Her impact was considered so important, she won the Nobel Peace Prize. That's a pretty big deal. This Little Environmentalist fought those trying to destroy the world's biggest rainforest where he grew up as a boy. Chico Mendes tried to stop the Amazon rainforest in Brazil, home to one-of-a-kind insects, animals, and plants, from being cut down or burned to build farms and ranches. This guy is famous. There are even songs written about him. He, in fact, ended up being killed by people who wanted to take up the rainforest land for their own uses and destroy so many natural habitats. That's right. He was killed by people that didn't want him to do his work in Brazil. He was one of like a lot of activists. I think over 40 that were killed the year that Chico Mendes was killed. But that just goes to show you that being a superhero can sometimes be very dangerous work. Vandana Shiva. This little environmentalist believes in food protection and encourages communities to make banks for seed collection. Vandana, she's from India. She wants farmers and communities to save and share varieties of seeds so that different kinds of wheat and other crops can always be grown in the future. This is great information if you're into agriculture and food and how it's made. Because of her, she wants to make sure that we have a full range of seeds available and not just a few, because that can happen unless a lot of people are protecting those original seeds, which makes it better to grow food in the future if the climate changes. This little environmentalist has found a solution that may reduce the problem of plastic pollution. Miranda Wang, hey Miranda, and Jeannie Yao discovered a way to break down hard to recycle plastic trash into chemicals that can be made into new products. And yeah, I know you recognize these, right? You probably have one in your house. Oh, and thanks to her innovations, we can recycle more stuff. This little environmentalist wants everyone to think about the safety of water we all need to drink. Pelletier believes water should have the same rights as people, so no one can pollute it. Back to the whole nobody wants to drink stinky, dirty water, right? And so that both rich and poor people will always have enough water, because we all need equal amounts of water. It has nothing to do with how much money we have. She is from Canada. She's considered Canada's water warrior. Isn't that a cool phrase? This little environmentalist wants us to take better care to clean and protect Earth's land, seas, and air. Greta Thunberg, she's been in the news. She was only 15 when she bravely began demanding that powerful world leaders work faster and better to solve the problem of climate change. And that's Swedish, which I am fluent in 0%. So maybe it says "Skålstrikt för klimatet," or maybe I just killed Swedish in that instant. But here, I speak for the trees. Skålstrike for climate. Climate awareness now. Speak out, reuse, recycle, find a better way. How could you be an earth hero today? Oh, and look at this. I'm just gonna leave this here. You can always freeze it and read the small print about all these heroes, because wow, we just scratched the surface with this book. But look, John Muir, who I'm a real big fan of, he is the one who met up with Teddy Roosevelt back when he was president. And because of their conversations, they founded the National Park System. And I love national parks. And I really want you to visit as many as you possibly can, because they are a treasure and they just inspire you in the fresh air. Ah, yes. Oh, and that one too. And oh, that one's pretty cool. Yeah. Oh, show the watery one. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. That's the Everglades. So the national parks, oh, they just blow your mind with their beauty. Thanks to John Muir, who helped make those happen. And we have Frank Lloyd Wright, who designed a house called Falling Water that fit into nature instead of changing nature to fit the building. That's great if you are maybe a future architect, engineer, designer, who loves nature and homes and building them inside. I mean, we can just go on and on here. But I just one more, because I know this lady. Well, I knew her. She's gone now. Oh, but I met her when she was like 100 years old. Marjorie Stoneman Douglas. She was the one who spoke out to save the wetlands called the Everglades, the national park, the Everglades, from being drained to make ways for dams and buildings. And she lived to be over 100 years old. And I got to interview her one time when she was very, very old, but she was still really good. And she coined the phrase river of grass, wrote books, made a big difference in the Florida ecosystem. So now, who's gonna make the next difference? You. That's right, it's gonna be you. Question is, what are you gonna do? And really, we all have the power, because after all, we're all Earthlings. It's our planet. We can do something, even if it's simple. Yes, like picking up a piece of trash. Yeah, by organizing cleanups. That's another good one, Hootie. Oh yes, turning off the water faucet when we're not using it so that we don't waste additional water. Yes, there's a lot we can do even if we only have 2 wings. Wait. Or 2 arms. See you next time, kid, on KidTime StoryTime, or visit us at KidTimeStoryTime.com, where we keep it super cool.